In this video, we will explore the Stoic perspective on not caring when life hurts you. By watching this video, you will gain insights into the 7 Stoic lessons that can help you develop resilience and inner peace in the face of challenges. Understanding these lessons can have a profound impact on your life by teaching you how to accept what you can't control, detach from external opinions, focus on virtue, practice gratitude, and more. By staying stoic and watching till the end, you will discover valuable tools to navigate through life's hardships with a calm and grounded mindset. Lesson 1. Acceptance. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the importance of accepting the things that are beyond our control. Stoics believe that by accepting the realities of life, we can find inner peace and avoid unnecessary suffering. This lesson of acceptance is particularly relevant when life hurts us. When faced with difficult situations or painful experiences, our first instinct is often to resist or deny them. We may feel anger, frustration, or sadness, and we may try to fight against the circumstances that have caused us pain. However, the Stoics argue that this resistance only amplifies our suffering and prevents us from finding true contentment. Acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. It means acknowledging the reality of a situation and choosing to find peace within ourselves despite the external circumstances. It means recognizing that there are certain things outside of our control and that our power lies in how we respond to them. For example, let's consider a scenario where you experience a setback at work. Perhaps you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for, or your project didn't yield the desired results. Initially, you may feel disappointed, frustrated, or even angry. However, instead of dwelling on these negative emotions and caring excessively about what others might think, practicing acceptance allows you to shift your focus. By accepting the situation as it is, you free yourself from the burden of constant worry and rumination. You recognize that you cannot change the past, but you can control how you respond to it. Acceptance allows you to redirect your energy towards finding a solution, improving your skills, or exploring new opportunities. Acceptance is not an easy lesson to learn. It requires a shift in mindset and a conscious effort to let go of the things we cannot control. It requires us to acknowledge that life will inevitably bring us pain and disappointment, but that we have the power to choose how we react to it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote encapsulates the essence of acceptance. We may not have control over the events that occur in our lives, but we have control over our attitudes and responses. Practicing acceptance can have a profound impact on our lives. It liberates us from the constant need for control and allows us to find peace and contentment in the midst of adversity. It helps us to let go of unnecessary worries and anxieties and to focus on the things that truly matter. By embracing acceptance, we develop resilience and emotional strength. We become better equipped to handle life's challenges and setbacks with grace and composure. We learn to adapt and find new opportunities for growth and learning. In conclusion, the first Stoic lesson of acceptance teaches us to care less about the things we cannot control. By practicing acceptance, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find peace within. It is a lesson that encourages us to shift our focus from external circumstances to our internal responses, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and resilient life. Lesson 2. Detachment. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the practice of detachment. Stoics believe that true happiness and fulfillment can only be achieved by detaching oneself from external outcomes and opinions. In other words, they encourage individuals to care less about what is outside of their control and instead focus on their internal state of mind and virtue. When we become attached to external outcomes, we become vulnerable to the fluctuations of life. We start caring too much about things that are ultimately beyond our control, such as the opinions of others, the success or failure of our endeavors, or the outcome of certain events. This attachment can lead to anxiety, frustration, and a constant need for validation from external sources. However, the Stoics propose a different approach. They teach us to detach ourselves from these external outcomes and instead focus on developing our own inner strength and virtue. By shifting our focus inward, we become less affected by the ups and downs of life, finding a sense of stability and peace within ourselves. Detachment does not mean that we become indifferent or apathetic towards the world around us. It is not about becoming cold-hearted or disconnected. Rather, it is about recognizing the limits of our control and directing our energy towards what is truly within our power, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. So how can we practice detachment in our daily lives? Firstly, we can detach ourselves from the opinions of others. Stoics believe that our self-worth should not be dependent on external validation. Instead, we should focus on our own values and principles, living in accordance with what we believe to be right and virtuous. By detaching from the opinions and judgments of others, we free ourselves from the constant need for approval or fear of criticism. For example, let's say you have a passion for painting, but you're afraid of sharing your artwork because you worry about what others might think. By practicing detachment, you can focus on the joy and fulfillment that painting brings you rather than seeking validation from others. You can detach from their opinions and find satisfaction in expressing your creativity regardless of external judgment. Secondly, detachment involves letting go of attachment to specific outcomes. Stoics teach us to focus on the process and effort we put into our actions, rather than obsessing over the outcome. By detaching from the need for a particular result, we can find contentment in knowing that we have done our best, regardless of the external outcome. For instance, let's say you're preparing for a job interview. Instead of fixating on getting the job, you can detach from that specific outcome and focus on preparing thoroughly, showcasing your skills, and presenting yourself authentically. By doing so, you shift your focus to what you can control and find satisfaction in the effort you put in, irrespective of whether you receive the job offer. Lastly, detachment also involves accepting the impermanence of things. Stoics remind us that everything in life is subject to change, and clinging to things or experiences only leads to suffering. By embracing the transitory nature of life, we can detach ourselves from the fear of loss or change, finding peace in the present moment. For example, let's say you have a cherished possession that holds sentimental value. While it is natural to have an attachment to such items, practicing detachment means recognizing that their true value lies not in their physical form, but in the memories and experiences associated with them. By detaching from the physical object, you can still hold on to the memories and find joy in the moments it represents, even if you no longer possess it. In conclusion, the Stoic lesson of detachment teaches us to care less about external outcomes and opinions. By practicing detachment, we free ourselves from the anxieties and insecurities that arise from attachment to things beyond our control. Instead, we focus on cultivating our inner strength, living in accordance with our values, and finding contentment in the present moment. By embracing this Stoic principle, we can navigate through life's challenges with a sense of peace and resilience. Lesson 3. Focus on virtue. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the emphasis on cultivating virtues. Virtues are qualities that we can develop within ourselves, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. According to the Stoics, these virtues are the key to living a truly fulfilling and meaningful life. In the context of not caring when life hurts us, focusing on virtue can be incredibly empowering. Instead of being consumed by external circumstances or opinions, Stoicism encourages us to prioritize our personal growth and the development of virtuous qualities. When we focus on virtue, we shift our attention away from the things that cause us pain and towards qualities that are within our control. This shift in perspective allows us to care less about external outcomes and opinions, as our sense of self-worth is no longer contingent upon them. Let's take a closer look at some of the virtues that Stoicism encourages us to cultivate. 1. Wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to discern what is within our control and what is not. By cultivating wisdom, we can better navigate through life's challenges and make sound decisions. When faced with difficult situations, a wise person focuses on what they can control, accepting the rest with equanimity. For example, if someone says hurtful things about us, instead of caring excessively about their opinion, a wise person recognizes that they cannot control what others say or think. They choose to focus on their own growth and character rather than seeking external validation. 2. Courage. Courage is the ability to face adversity with bravery and resilience. Stoics believe that we should not shy away from challenges, but rather embrace them as opportunities for growth. When we cultivate courage, we become less concerned about the pain or discomfort that may arise from difficult situations. For instance, if we encounter a setback or failure, instead of caring too much about the negative experience, a courageous person sees it as a chance to learn and improve. They face the adversity head on, knowing that it is through such challenges that they can develop strength and character. 3. Justice. Justice is about treating others with fairness, kindness, and empathy. By practicing justice, we shift our focus from being overly concerned with our own needs and desires to considering the well-being of others. When we care less about our own ego and self-interest, we can find greater peace within ourselves. For example, if someone wrongs us, instead of caring excessively about seeking revenge or holding grudges, a just person approaches the situation with compassion and understanding. They prioritize forgiveness and reconciliation, recognizing that harboring negativity only harms themselves. 4. Temperance. Temperance is the virtue of self-control and moderation. It involves finding balance in our desires and avoiding excessive attachment to material possessions or external pleasures. When we cultivate temperance, we become less reliant on external things for our happiness or sense of worth. For instance, if we experience a loss or setback in our financial situation, instead of caring excessively about the material loss, a temperate person focuses on their inner qualities and the things that truly matter, such as relationships and personal growth. The general theme of focusing on virtue is to shift our attention away from external circumstances and opinions that can bring us pain. By prioritizing our personal growth and the cultivation of virtues, we develop a stronger sense of self and inner peace. We care less about what others think or how life presents challenges because our happiness is not dependent on these external factors. In conclusion, the Stoic lesson of focusing on virtue teaches us to care less about the things that hurt us by redirecting our attention towards qualities that we have control over. By cultivating wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we can develop resilience and inner strength. This shift in mindset allows us to find fulfillment and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. So stay stoic and embrace the path of virtue for a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Lesson 4. Practice negative visualization. One of the Stoic lessons that can help us care less when life hurts us is the practice of negative visualization. This technique involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios and hardships in order to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. While it may seem counterintuitive, negative visualization can be a powerful tool for building resilience and finding peace in the face of adversity. The Stoics believe that by envisioning potential hardships, we can mentally prepare ourselves to handle them with greater calmness and fortitude. Rather than being blindsided by unexpected challenges, negative visualization allows us to anticipate and accept the possibility of setbacks, disappointments, and losses. To practice negative visualization, we can start by setting aside a few moments each day to reflect on potential difficulties that may arise in different areas of our lives. This could include imagining the loss of a loved one, experiencing a financial setback, or facing criticism. By allowing ourselves to fully immerse in these thoughts, we can confront our fears and anxieties head-on. While it may initially sound daunting, negative visualization serves a vital purpose. It helps us recognize that the things we often take for granted can be temporary, reminding us of the impermanence of life. By contemplating the possibility of loss, we develop a greater appreciation for what we have in the present moment. For example, let's say you have a cherished relationship with a loved one. By practicing negative visualization, you might imagine what life would be like without them. This exercise can evoke a deep sense of gratitude and encourage you to cherish your time together, fostering a more meaningful and fulfilling connection. Additionally, negative visualization helps us cultivate resilience and adaptability. By mentally preparing for potential challenges, we become better equipped to handle them when they do occur. Rather than being consumed by fear or despair, we can approach difficult situations with a sense of acceptance and a proactive mindset. For instance, if you have an important presentation at work, negative visualization can help you mentally prepare for potential setbacks or criticism. By envisioning scenarios where things don't go as planned, you can develop contingency plans and practice remaining calm and focused, regardless of the outcome. This allows you to approach the presentation with a greater sense of confidence and resilience. Furthermore, negative visualization can also lead to a shift in perspective. By contemplating worst-case scenarios, we come to realize that many of our worries and anxieties are often blown out of proportion. We begin to understand that the things we often stress over may not be as catastrophic as they initially seem. This shift in perspective can help us develop a sense of detachment from external outcomes. We become less attached to specific results and more focused on the process itself. We learn to embrace the journey rather than fixating on the destination, knowing that unexpected challenges and setbacks are an inherent part of life. By practicing negative visualization, we can develop a more stoic approach to life. We learn to accept that pain, loss, and adversity are inevitable, but our response to them is within our control. We become more resilient, adaptable, and grateful for the present moment. In conclusion, the Stoic lesson of practicing negative visualization offers us a powerful tool for cultivating resilience and finding peace in the face of life's challenges. By envisioning potential hardships, we prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally, develop gratitude for what we have, and shift our perspective on adversity. By incorporating this practice into our lives, we can care less about the pains and setbacks that life throws at us, embracing a more stoic and grounded mindset. Lesson 5. Control your reaction. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the importance of controlling our reactions to external events. While we may not have control over what happens to us, we do have control over how we respond. This lesson encourages us to develop a mindset that allows us to care less about external circumstances and instead focus on maintaining our inner peace and well-being. When life throws challenges our way, it's easy to get caught up in negative emotions, such as anger, frustration, or sadness. However, the Stoics believe that these emotional reactions are within our control and can be managed through the power of reason and mindfulness. By practicing the art of controlling our reactions, we can avoid unnecessary suffering and maintain a sense of calm, even in the face of adversity. Here's how we can apply this lesson in our daily lives. 1. Awareness. The first step in controlling our reactions is to be aware of our emotional responses. It's important to recognize when we start feeling anger, anxiety, or any other negative emotion. By becoming aware of our emotional state, we can take a step back and assess whether our reaction is justified or if it's an overreaction. 2. Pause and reflect. Once we become aware of our emotional reactions, it's crucial to pause and reflect on the situation before responding impulsively. Taking a moment to breathe and gather our thoughts allows us to approach the situation with a clearer and more rational mindset. 3. Rationality and reasoning. Stoicism teaches us to approach challenges with rationality and reasoning. Instead of letting emotions dictate our actions, we can engage our logical thinking to evaluate the situation objectively. By considering different perspectives and finding a rational response, we can avoid unnecessary conflicts and make more informed decisions. 4. Acceptance and adaptation. Stoics emphasize the importance of accepting the things we cannot change. When faced with circumstances beyond our control, it's essential to accept them as they are and adapt accordingly. By shifting our focus from trying to change the unchangeable to finding ways to navigate through it, we can maintain our inner peace and resilience. 5. Practice equanimity. Equanimity, or maintaining an even and calm disposition, is a key aspect of controlling our reactions. Stoics believe that we should not allow external events to disrupt our inner tranquility. By practicing equanimity, we can detach ourselves from the outcomes of external events and find serenity within. 6. Choose virtuous responses. Stoicism places great emphasis on cultivating virtues such as kindness, compassion, and patience. When faced with challenging situations, we can choose to respond with these virtues rather than reacting with anger or aggression. By practicing virtuous responses, we not only maintain our own well-being, but also contribute positively to the world around us. 7. Learn from challenges. Stoicism teaches us to view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of dwelling on the negative aspects, we can choose to see them as valuable experiences that shape our character and resilience. By approaching challenges with a growth mindset, we can care less about their initial impact and focus on the lessons they offer. By incorporating these practices into our lives, we can gradually develop the ability to control our reactions and care less about external circumstances. While it takes time and consistent effort, the rewards are immense. We become more resilient, emotionally stable, and better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs. Remember, the journey of controlling our reactions is ongoing, and we may stumble along the way. But by staying committed to the Stoic principles, we can gradually transform our mindset and find greater peace and contentment in life. So let's embrace this lesson and strive to be the masters of our reactions rather than letting external events dictate our well-being. Lesson 6. Practice gratitude. One of the key teachings in Stoicism is the practice of gratitude. It is a powerful tool that allows us to shift our perspective and find contentment in the present moment, despite any hardships or challenges we may face. By cultivating a mindset of gratitude, we can learn to care less about negative experiences and instead focus on the abundance of positive aspects in our life. Gratitude is the act of recognizing and appreciating the good things we have, whether big or small. It is about shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. The Stoics believe that by practicing gratitude, we can cultivate a sense of fulfillment and reduce our attachment to external circumstances. In our modern world, it is easy to get caught up in a cycle of always wanting more. We often fall into the trap of thinking that our happiness and well-being depend on acquiring material possessions, achieving certain goals, or comparing ourselves to others. This constant craving for more can lead to dissatisfaction and a never-ending pursuit of external validation. The practice of gratitude offers an antidote to this cycle. It encourages us to take a step back and reflect on the blessings we have in our lives. It teaches us to appreciate the simple pleasures, the relationships that bring us joy, and the experiences that shape us. One way to cultivate gratitude is through reflection. Take a few moments each day to intentionally think about the things you are grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a supportive friend, or the beauty of nature surrounding you. By consciously acknowledging and expressing gratitude for these things, you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is present. Another powerful practice is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. This exercise helps you develop a habit of seeking out the positive aspects of your life, even in difficult times. It trains your mind to actively look for moments of gratitude and appreciation. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring or denying the challenges and hardships we face. It doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. Instead, it is about acknowledging that even in the midst of difficulties, there are still things to be grateful for. It is about finding strength and resilience and recognizing the silver linings and the lessons that emerge from tough situations. The impact of practicing gratitude is profound. It shifts our mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. It reminds us that we have more than enough to be content and happy. It allows us to let go of the constant need for external validation and instead find fulfillment within ourselves. By incorporating gratitude into our daily lives, we become less consumed by the things that hurt us. We learn to care less about the opinions of others, the setbacks we encounter, or the disappointments we face. Instead, we focus on the blessings we have, the growth we experience, and the connections we foster. In a world that often promotes a mindset of lack and comparison, practicing gratitude is a radical act of self-care. It empowers us to find joy and fulfillment in the present moment, no matter what challenges we may be facing. It is a reminder that true happiness comes from within and doesn't depend on external circumstances. So, as you continue your Stoic journey, I encourage you to embrace the practice of gratitude. Cultivate a mindset that appreciates the abundance in your life. Take a moment each day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. Keep a gratitude journal and let it serve as a reminder of the richness and beauty that surrounds you. By practicing gratitude, you will find that you care less about the things that hurt you because you are focused on the things that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. It is a transformative practice that can profoundly impact your life and help you navigate the ups and downs with a Stoic mindset. Lesson 7. Seek inner fulfillment. The seventh Stoic lesson on not caring when life hurts you revolves around seeking inner fulfillment. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and contentment come from within, rather than relying on external circumstances or validation. By focusing on personal growth and developing a strong sense of self, we can care less about the ups and downs of life. In our modern society, it is easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation and fulfillment from external sources. We often measure our worth and success based on societal standards, material possessions, or the opinions of others. This constant need for external validation can lead to anxiety, insecurity, and a never-ending cycle of seeking approval. Stoicism offers an alternative approach by emphasizing that true fulfillment comes from living a virtuous life, cultivating inner qualities, and finding joy in personal growth. To apply this Stoic lesson, we need to shift our focus from external achievements to the development of our character. The Stoics believe that cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is the key to a flourishing life. By prioritizing these virtues, we can care less about external circumstances and opinions, knowing that our worth is not determined by them. For example, let's say you are working on a project at your workplace. Instead of caring excessively about impressing your superiors or receiving praise from your colleagues, focus on developing qualities like diligence, integrity, and attention to detail. By prioritizing virtue, you will find fulfillment in the process itself, regardless of the external outcomes. Stoicism also encourages us to focus on personal growth and self-improvement. Instead of comparing ourselves to others or seeking constant external validation, we should strive to become the best version of ourselves. This involves setting meaningful goals, acquiring new skills, and constantly learning and evolving. For instance, if you have a passion for painting, focus on improving your artistic skills and finding joy in the creative process. Care less about external recognition or comparison to other artists. By seeking inner fulfillment through personal growth, you will find satisfaction and contentment in your artistic endeavors, regardless of external success. Another important aspect of seeking inner fulfillment is practicing self-reflection and introspection. Take the time to understand your values, desires, and what truly brings you happiness. When you have a clear understanding of what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to prioritize your own fulfillment over external expectation. Stoics also emphasize the importance of living in alignment with nature. This means accepting the realities of life and embracing the present moment. By focusing on the here and now, we can find contentment and peace, regardless of external circumstances. For example, if you are going through a difficult period in your life, instead of constantly worrying about the future or dwelling on past mistakes, focus on accepting the present moment and finding gratitude for what you have. By aligning yourself with the natural flow of life, you can care less about the hardships and find inner peace. In conclusion, the seventh Stoic lesson on seeking inner fulfillment teaches us to care less about external achievements and validation. By prioritizing virtues, personal growth, self-reflection, and living in alignment with nature, we can find true happiness and contentment within ourselves. This Stoic mindset allows us to navigate through life's challenges with grace and resilience, regardless of the ups and downs that may come our way. So stay stoic, embrace personal growth, and seek inner fulfillment to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life.